So good evening everybody and welcome back to F1 here on FTRL. We are kicking off season 18 here of Div 1 and we are live from the home of the British Grand Prix. It is Silverstone. And joining me on comms tonight I have one of our Div 2 drivers. It is Mr. CRG Cats. Good evening Cats.
Hello there.
How are we doing? You right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Good, good. So, it felt like a very long 2 weeks since the end of last season, but we are back now with some racing action. How are you excited for the new season?
I've been really looking forward to this, especially since I got my lovely Haas again.
You're one of the few people in all FTRL who is very happy with this Haas, so glad that somebody is. But there we go. So, Silverstone, usually a popular choice for drivers. How are we feeling about it on this year's game?
Bit tricky, as usual, but I think especially with the very slippery curbs on this game, it just adds a little bit extra difficulty.
Yeah, so I did a few laps last night for the first time in a while. I found that turn 1 was particularly tricky compared to recent games. You put too much steering lock through the first corner and you find the back end is very quickly trying to overtake you, so going to be tough to see how they cope with that tonight, but we shall see. As our first flying lap of the season is about to begin, and we're going to go on board with one of the reigning Constructors' Championships, Funky Fox, now in Mercedes. A lap then of Silverstone, then into Abbey, and then into the stadium section. Tricky third gear right-hander. Flicks into the left. And now coming on to the Wellington straight for the first time, the first of the DRS zones. Looking nice and tidy so far. He's gone out on a medium tyre, interestingly. So he comes then into the second of the stadium sections, rounding Luffield, out Brooklands into Luffield. Hugs the inside nicely. Oh dear. It's all going for Scuba's ghost car already. So he comes around Woodcut and now heading towards the infamous Cops Corner. Nice and tidy through there. A little bit of a shake on the curve on the exit. Looking nice and tidy. And now into Maggots and Beckett's. Through there nicely. A little bit of a slide there as he turns into Chapel. Back end trying to get away from him. Onto the hangar straight now. Second of the DRS zones. Looking for your braking marker for Stowe. He'll tip into the right-hander. Apexes nicely. Runs all the way out to the curb on the exit. Nice and tidy lap then. Then into Vale Corner, and then Club Corner, the final corner. It's on the power, sprints to the line, and a 1:28.0 from Funky Fox. First time on the board. TK, however, behind him quickly usurps him with a 26.7 on the soft tyre. Zumpy goes second on a 27.4, so the lap time is starting to come in. Tom Duval goes third. Another one on the medium tyre, so it looks like a few split strategy choices. So already a few guys going out on the mediums. Few guys on the softs. Tom Robbo now goes fastest of all on 26.6, so lap time's tumbling already. Any early predictions, Cats? Who do you think's going to be ones to watch tonight?
Well, I mean, there's Zico. From the few races I've seen in Div 1 last season, he was pretty quick there, so he's a safe bet for me.
Indeed, yeah, so currently sat P2 on the grid. CR7 goes third at 26.9, but on the medium tyre he's just 0.3 off a pole, and there is no denying this man has some serious one-lap pace. As Funky Fox retires, oh, Funky Fox has crashed then on the exit of, looks like Beckett's. So the reigning Div 2 champ, runner-up last season to his teammate who is missing this week. It's not started well. He's gone one lap on the board and has crashed on his in-lap, so the Mercedes man is out of qualifying. And on the back foot already then. So, runners and riders for this season. And so, current pole position sitter, IFR Tom Robber, is actually subbing in for his fellow stablemate. IFR Links, the reigning champ, not with us this week, unfortunately, but his understudy. Doing a sterling job with his first flying run. His teammate is Funky Fox, so the reigning Constructors champions, who finished first and second in the standings last season, together again, this time though at Mercedes, as now Oxox retires. What's happened to Oxox? He looks like he's crashed on the exit of...
There.
Yeah, Luffield by the look of it, so last season's most winningest driver on the back foot now as well. So a couple of drivers then already in trouble. Early on, who have we got on flying lap? We've got Dan Morris then, who's coming into the second roundabout where the Aston Martin has crashed out. We can see there, yeah, the Aston Martin was on the inside by the wall to the old pit entrance. So Ox then has got a lot of work to do with them from the back of the grid. He will be starting no better than 17th. As Dutch Tricks pops himself a P2. Now, I think that was one of the biggest shocks for me from last season in Div 1. The Dutch Tricks didn't win a race at all last season, which is almost unheard of, especially in recent form. Which I think just shows how much this year's game has shaken up the running order in F1 for a lot of people. Those who haven't put in the time struggled a little bit last season. I don't think I've ever seen Dutch Tricks make as many mistakes as he did last season. Not massive ones, but the fact that he didn't win a race is unheard of in recent history, so he will be looking to make amends this season. Dan Morris crosses the line, goes P5. So the Williams boys 5th and 6th. Of course, he's teamed up this season with Ariel Funky Chicken. It is Battle of the Funkies once again. Fox versus Chicken, and Chicken is currently winning out. He's ahead of him on the grid, and he's also still in the qualifying session with his Tibos then going P5. And the second of the Aston Martins. So
looks like Core Boy's about to finish one as well.
Corby in the Alpine. He goes up to P9. He's also about to get there. So his teammate, of course, got disqualified after Scuba lagged out of the session, and his car decided to park in a unwanted place, and he is now on the back foot as well. So a couple of drivers on the back foot already. Not the ideal start to their season, but a long race ahead of them. Plenty of overtaking opportunities around Silverstone. I think that's one of the good things about Silverstone. There are plenty of places to overtake, and plenty of places to force mistakes as well. So not all is lost for those who are going to be down at the back. The current running order then, with just under 10 minutes of the session remaining. IFR Tom Robbo on provisional pole with Dutch Tricks alongside him. Tico is on the second row with CR7. Then we've got TTG Tibos and Dan Morris, Funky Chicken and Dylan, Callboy and Sway rounding out your top 10 as it stands. Zumpy Wesker, Tom Duval, Funky Fox, Graham Adamako, Ox and Scuba. The current running order, we're expecting Andoir to join us for the race. So we will have at least one of the Hazes on the grid. All being well by the time the lights go out. So who is then on a flying run? We've got the cars currently 1st and 3rd on flying runs. Gone on board then with the man currently 3rd, Tico. Of course, won the Russian Grand Prix last season, but not the ideal defence of his hard-fought championship win from season 16. Missed a couple of races. Again, they can see just a bit of a twitch, and he's invalidated on the exit of Cops. Ran a little bit wide, so we'll go back and pick up Tom Robbo. Current provisional pole sitter, purple first sector. Looking nice and tidy as he comes out of Woodcut. Down the old start finish straight into Cops. Now, does he stay within track limits? He does. Now coming up
Did he do that flat?
It looks like it. I found last night that you maybe just a little bit of a comfort lift just to make sure you don't run too wide. But and he goes over the grass at Chapel and invalidates his lap then. So a couple of dramas then. CR7 currently P4. Coming into the end of Sector 1. He is 0.172 up in Sector 1. So the man most deemed the fastest man over a lap, looking to challenge for the front row again. Can he start turning those pole positions into wins though? Didn't win a race last season either. He probably should have won at Paul Ricard, but for the late weather inputs that kind of mixed up the order a little bit. Wasn't quite able to recover it. Did go back onto the podium that one, but that's a race he should have won. Goes purple in the middle sector. He's half a second up now, getting a slipstream from his teammate. Adamako dives to the inside. I believe he's eating a chip butty as he comes down the back straight. He just told me. 2 corners to go then. Half a second up. This looks like it's going to be provisional pole for CR7. If he can stay within the track limits, he does. And dives for the line. And it's a 26.2. He is 0.4 of a second up on second place. CR7 laying down a marker with 6.5 minutes of the session to go. And that's going to take some beating, cats.
Yeah, that's... Wow.
That is, yeah, I say that a lot about his qualifying laps when he, I don't want to say embarrasses this field, but sometimes it feels like he does. He opens up a huge gap, and then it's up to everybody else to try and chip away at it, and usually by the end of the session they get to within about 3 or 4 tenths of him, but he lays down markers like this, and it's very impressive. Very impressive on that pace.
Yeah. I won't be getting anywhere near that tomorrow.
Head of Bravo. Still nearly 0.4 of a second behind. Blink of an eye, but it's a big gap in F1 terms. So then current running order now stands at CR7 from Dutch Tricks, Tom Robbo, Tico, who has invalidated another run, so he's not going to improve this time. Wesker sat in P5, so both Red Bull 5. TTG Tibos on a lap, he currently sits P6. Let's stay on board with the Aston Martin man, who gets demoted. As Adam Mako goes 4th at the McLaren's, that's that 1st and 4th. Way now goes 6th on 26.8. So I've been talking about TTG Tibos, he's gone from P6 to P8. How is he getting on though in Sector 2? Coming on into Maggots and Beckett's. Second sector checkpoint coming up. And he is about 127 up. So this could jump him ahead of Wesker. Can he find any time in the final sector? Rouse Stowe coming then into Vale. And now into Club, the final corner. And he improves it. It does go up to P7 then. So lost a little bit of time in the final sector, but still enough to jump ahead of Wesker. P7 now for TTG Tibos. Anybody else on a flying lap? Dan Morris appears to be in lap. No, he's invalidated. Is he going to come into the pits? He is indeed. So everybody then... Adam Mako is on a lap, isn't he? Yeah, he just started a lap, I think, didn't he? So he picked up CR7. No, he's going to the pits, so he has done his lap. We get a little bit of a breather then, while everybody prepares for the final run of the 3 retirements, or the 2 retirements and the unfortunate disqualification. Scuba goes again. Oh dear, me and Scuba are having some awful connection problems. I don't know why. Running orders, Tom Robbo on his outlap. He's going to blink first. Current running order then, 3.5 minutes to go. CR7 on provisional pole from Dutch Tricks. Tom Robbo 3rd, Adam Mako in P4. Tico is 5th, Sway is 6th. TTG Tibos P7 with Wesker P8. Dan P9 and Graham rounding out the top 10. Tom Duval, Funky Chicken, Dylan, Callboy, Zumpy, Funky Fox, Oxox and Scuba rounding out the grid with the Has of Andy to join. Now, I'm getting a phone call from Mr. Aaron Taylor, so would you mind taking over commentary for a moment, Cats?
We've got Tom Robbo's just started a lap now. See if he can maybe get anywhere near CR7. It's going to be hard to do, but maybe. Who knows?
Right, I'm back. Apparently I'm having microphone issues, so for those in the stream, if you are still watching, please let me know how that sounds.
I'm not hearing any static anymore, so
that's good.
Should be good.
Maybe that sorted it. So then currently P3. Watching Tom Robbo in the Mercedes. Comes out of Cops. Into the infamous Beckett's Chapel complex. Is he going to hook it up this time? Always wide again over the grass. And big twitch on the grass again. And that ruins that lap. So no improvement then for the man in P3. What about Dutch Tricks? And Dutch Tricks has just started his flying lap. And coming out onto the Wellington Straight, the DRS pops open. How is he doing in Sector 1? He is 85 thousandths up. So up in Sector 1, we're going to need to find a bit more time though. Down at the old start-finish straight into Copse Corner. That's there nicely, using the curve on exit, no twitch this time. Into Maggots and to Beckett's into Chapel. Car changing direction nicely. Oh, he's on the grass as well. And he's invalidated as well. Then to 2 of the top 3. Making mistakes on their final flying run. As Tico goes second. The Ferrari man hooked his lap up. 26.3 for the Ferrari man. He goes onto the provisional front row. With Dutch and Tom Robbo messing up their laps. Did Tom Robbo go again? No, he is pulled off. Has Dutch gone again? Is he going to get time? He might just get around for another lap here. So he gets on. He will just start a one flying run then. So let's go pick up current pole sitter. He's invalidated his lap already. He's only in Sector 1, so CR7 will not improve. What about his teammate? And Amaka just behind him. He'll be getting a nice slipstream from his teammate into Sector 1, and he is marginally down in Sector 1. Through Luffield he goes. Down the start-finish straight. Or the old start-finish straight. Tips into Cops. Nice and tidy there. The Ferrari getting out of his way. Has he found any time in Sector 2? His teammate in front of him again. They get a little bit of slipstream, then down the hanger straight.
Dan Morris spun his crash.
Oh.
Just about to finish his lap.
Oh, that's a shame. And they're getting a little bit of a tow from CR7 as they came to the end of the hanger straight. Will that have been enough to give him any advantage? He'll need some. Sway goes third. So demotes Adam down. Adam jumps Tom Robbo though. He did find some time in the final sector. It's enough to put him back up to P5. But he's demoted to 6 straight away as TTG Tibos goes 4th. On a 26.5. And he's dropped down as Dutch Tricks. Pulls a 26.3. Out of the bag right at the death. So having invalidated his first flying run on that set of tyres, he made it just in time to set another lap. And he pops himself onto the front row with his final flying run. And that then sorts out the grid. So CR7 takes the first pole position and he leads the championship after qualifying with that first point on the board. He is being stalked by the Dutch contingent. Dutch and Tico second and third. Familiar placings for those stalking front positions. Sway then, brilliant final flyer from him, pops himself onto the second row. He starts P4 with TTG Tibos P5, Alamako P6. IFR Tom Robbo starts P7 with Wesker P8. Callboy in the top 10 in P9, and Funky Chicken rounding out the top 10, and they will all start on the soft tyres. And we've got NLR Dylan, Dam, Graham, Tom. I'm not going to get down to the bottom in time, am I? No. No, not quite. So, qualifying done. Time to get some race predictions in then. I'll come to you first, Cats. Who do you think? Ooh, now that's a grey sky, but doesn't look wet.
Well,
so might the weather be playing a part in this race?
Could be. Could be getting interesting here.
Indeed, the temperatures will be lower then, so that will help with the tyre wear. But yeah, that is Are we going to see changeable conditions on the first race of the season? We shall see. So then a prediction for the podium from you, or who do you think is going to win the race, first and foremost?
Well, I think maybe I'll go with Dutch.
He's going to go for Dutch tricks then. So is the barren spell about to end?
Could be.
Well, we'll find out in the next... I can't remember how many laps this is. I think it's something in the
26, I think.
26, sounds about right. It's quite a long lap to Silverstone, so... Plenty of racing. Andwar is here, so we are up to 19. The countdown is on. And here we go then. So, let's have a rundown of the order and also pick up who outside of the top 10. Starting on what tyre then. So, first grid of the season looks like this. CR7 on pole position. Different camera angle. Come on, Gabe.
Only got 4 drivers.
CR7 is on pole. Say again, sorry.
Only got 4 drivers on the mediums.
Yeah, oh, medium's interesting. Maybe it is the weather. Maybe that does suggest rain is coming. We shall see. He's joined on the front row by 4-time series champ, Mr. Dutch Tricks, lining up P2. Tico lines up P3 in the Ferrari with Sway in the AlphaTauri, starting P4. TTG Tibos in the Aston Martin. He starts P5 alongside the second of the McLarens of Adamaco, who starts P6. The Mercedes of IFR Tom Robbo lines up P7 alongside the second of the Red Bulls. It is Wesker, he is P8. TTG Cowboy in the Alpine starts P9, and the Williams of REL Funky Chicken rounding out the top 10. They are all starting, of course, on the tyres in which they qualified on. Free tyre choice to the next 9 drivers, starting with NLR Diven. He is one of the 4 drivers on the medium tyres in the Alfa Romeo. He lines up alongside Dan Morris in the second of the Williams. He's on the softs. Graham starts P13 in the second of the Alfa Romeos, and he is alongside Tom Duval in the second of the AlphaTauris, another one on the soft tyres. Zumpi in the second Ferrari starts P15 on the medium tyres. Funky Fox, last season's runner-up and reigning constructor champ, starts P16, he's on the softs. Ox, the most winningest driver last season with 4 victories to his name in the Aston Martin, starts on the medium tyres from P17. Scuba is P18 in the Alpine, he's on the softs. And rounding out the grid is the Haas of FTRL Andwar, and he starts on the mediums. So, what do we think? Race victory, I'm going to go with... Yes, I'm going to follow your lead. I think Dutch Tricks is going to win this one. I think Tico will be second. And I am going to put Adamaco third. So that's my podium prediction. Dutch, Tico and Adamaco. There's Andy's car has decided to go for it. That's a worrying sign.
It's similar to what happened with my teammate in China.
It is,
season.
yes. I'm not quite sure what happened there either.
Maybe it's just a thing with the Haas.
Maybe. Maybe, or has it broken the lobby? Because now we seem to be paused. Has it broken the lobby? And has left the session. Is that going to be the jolt? Needs to go. Does appear like the lobby might be broken because Andor joined. Right. Yep, we definitely got a broken lobby. Right, take a screenshot of that, and do bear with us, do apologies. Codemasters lobbies are just the bane of my existence. Or of League Racing's existence, really.
Take a Codemasters game and mix it with the EA servers and you get this.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed. You think with EA's money, they might be able to invest in like broadband for their servers.
Yeah, but it is EA, so...
That's just true. Right, bear with me. Comes my invite. Right. Need to join the session? Nope. Okay. Cody's being Cody's again. Can't. There we go. Right, send you an invite, cats. 1 second.
Thank you.
Right, I will send away the grid. Lovely, right. Probably need to invite everybody first, that would help. Haha, right. Yep. Yes. Next. And then Graham, Tom, Sumpy. Abby, and then Funky Fox, Ox, Scuba, and Andy. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
I will be right back.
Yep, no worries, mate. Who are we missing? Who are we missing? I do apologise everybody for the delay. I suppose it gives me ample time at least to go through the team lineups proper this season. I'll sort the grid out then. So, Mercedes, we have got normally IFR Lynx, the reigning champ, and Funky Fox, they of course last season's Constructors Champions. They are together again this season at Mercedes. Of course no Lynx this week unfortunately, so he's being replaced by stablemate Tom Robbo. Red Bull is the four-time champ, Mr. Dutch Tricks, partnered with Austria's finest Wesker 95 at Red Bull. Next up is Ferrari, where we find season 16 champion Tico. He's partnered up with the season 13 champion Zumpy. So two champions together at Ferrari. What is going on? Who got next? Top Alpine. Alpine is where we find TTG Corboy. Corboy. That's what I meant to say. And Scuba alongside him. That seems to be where we're having some dramas at the moment. Looks like we're ready to go. So yeah, Williams of course is where we find Dan Morris, former Div 2 champion, coupled with Funky Chicken, back for a full season with FTRL. Is he finally going to get that podium that his pace has deserved multiple times? Right then, so Alfa Romeo is where we find Graham and Dylan. Of course Dylan, who got that brilliant podium last time out in the final round at China. Outstanding drive from him. Aston Martin, TTG Tibos, very quick ball in his day and former series champion and the most winningest driver last season, of course, we touched on Ox. McLaren is where we find our one lap specialist, Mr. CR7, and Adam Acko alongside him. We find Anwar and Yarham, although no Yarham this week. A bit of a no-show. I see you on Battlefield. Don't think I don't see you. So we might find that Mr. Tom Robbo drops in there permanently, but we shall see. And I think that's everybody. No, we didn't touch on AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri is where we find Div 1 admin Tom Duval and also Sway, who has very kindly taken over hosting the lobby, so fingers crossed we won't have the same issues. So, waiting for everybody to apply their setups, get their tyres on, and we will attempt this again. Of course, clear skies this time, so it did look like we were having the threat of rain, but that, well, now appears to have gone. And we're now greeted by beautiful blue skies. So do apologise for the delay. The grid is sorted for the second time. Here we go. So, second time again. Let's just make sure everybody's done as they were supposed to. Suspicious. Here we go then. CR7 then on pole position. First pole of the season. He's joined on the front row by the Red Bull of Mr. Dutch Tricks. Tico in the Ferrari, the season 16 champ. Lines up P3 alongside Sway in the AlphaTauri. Being the charge for them. TG Tibos starts P5 in the Aston Martin alongside the second of the McLarens of Adamako. So McLaren's going very well in qualifying. Can they carry that form over into the race? IFR Tom Robbo starts P7 deputising for the reigning champ, so some big shoes to fill. Qualified well. Can he go forwards in the race? In P8 we find the second Red Bull of Wesker on the fourth row. Fifth row comprises of TTG Cowboy in the Alpine and the lead Williams of Ariel Funky Chicken. Of course, all of those top 10 on the softs. And then outside of the top 10 we start with NLR Dillon in the Alfa Romeo. He starts P11. Dan Morris lines up P12 in the Williams. Graham starts 13th in the second of the Alfa Romeos. And then we find the second of the AlphaTauris. Tom Duval starting 14th. The Zumpi in the second Ferrari. Season 13 champ lines up P15. Monty Fox, the reigning Constructors champion, runner-up last season, starts P16. Ox in the second of the Aston Martin. He lines up P17 with Anwar in the Haas P18, and Scuba has maybe given it a go. I think he did say he was struggling with his internet. He has made it to the grid, and he will start at the very back. And here's your grid, the final drivers coming around to line up. The leaders making their way onto the grid. 26 laps ahead of us. In the chat we have got Mr. Pagani, the reigning Div 2 champ. Back to Northern. Revs are up and away we go, and it's a good start from the pole sitter. He gets the jump. Tico seems to have had a good start as well as they filter into Abbey for the first time. The two Dutch boys side by side, couple of cars wide in the background, but the McLaren gets the jump. Tico down the inside of his fellow countryman. Adamako's up to fourth. He's had a really good start. The McLaren's off to a flyer. Funky Chicken's gone round. He's all the way down to the back. Dan Morris has lost place as well. So Williams having strife on the opening lap. Sways down 6 places as well. A terrible start for the AlphaTauri, man. As they tip into... forgot the call name completely. Goddard's. That's the one. No, it's not. Is it? Can't remember. It's gone. It'll come back to me. As they go now through Woodcut for the first time, and CR7 has held the lead as they round Cops for the first time. Dutch Trick giving chase, having fended off Tico's advances. He sits third. Avanaka, great start for him. He's up 2 already into the top 4. McLaren's then running first and fourth. TTG Tibos is where he started. Tom Robbo's up 1, Wesker's up 1, Corboy's up 1, and Dillon's up 2. Ox is up 7. Ox then, and he started 17th, finds himself 10th already as they come down the down the hangar straight for the first time. Tom Robbo goes past TG Tibos. as they go through Stowe the first time. And now Wesker having a look as well. He's down the inside as they come into Vale. But the Aston Martin fends him off. And Sway's got a penalty on the first lap, so scruffy lap from Sway. Finds himself down 8 positions. Funky Chicken into the pits already.
Yeah, he was missing an end plate, it seems.
Yeah. Breathless first lap then. Oxox up another position already. He's got past the Alfa Romeo. He's now right under his gearbox. On to the Wellington straight they go. Oxox up 8 positions on that opening lap. He's the big mover, and he's going to be one to watch. He was blistering the quick last season. Oh, who's that running a little bit wide? Was that TTG Tibos? It was. Wesker trying to go around the outside. Callboy trying to get at the inside. They're getting side by side. There's contact, wheel to wheel. Wesker's got the run around the outside. TTG Tibos hanging on the inside. They're going to go wheel to wheel into Cops, are they? They are. This is brave. Oh, they get away with it. Wesker gets the move done. Brilliant overtake around the outside. See, Max and Lewis, that's how it's done.
Yeah, that's better than Lewis.
It was indeed. No contact there as they filter through Maggots and Beckett's. And now, here comes Callboy on TTG Tibos, the 2 TTG drivers. Callboy with a brilliant run out of Chapel, gets the move done. And now the Aston Martins sit together 8th and 9th. There's been a change view off of P2. Didn't see that. Tico jumping up to P2 ahead of his fellow countryman. Bit of a twitch there. CR7 meanwhile is pulled out of DRS range.
Oxox is on a mission here.
He is indeed. Oxox up to P8. He's ahead of his team now as well. So Oxox up 9 places already. He is absolutely flying. On to lap 3. DRS now enabled. Race leader though is not concerned by that because he's 1.4 seconds ahead. Tico however might have a problem with his fellow countryman behind him. Red Bull wing pops open, easy move, and through he goes. So a little bit of a break, so race leader's made a break. He's 1.3 seconds up the road. Dutch Tricks now giving chase. Dutch and Tico nose to tail, a little bit of a gap back than the outer DRS range of Adamako at the moment. He's bringing Tom Robbo with him. They're 4th and 5th. He made a break as well. Then Wesker's P6. Callboy, Oxox, TTG Tibos. And you've got Graham, Funky Fox, Dylan, Dan Morris, Sway, Zumpy, Tom Deval, Andoir, all in a train. One big DRS train going, and Funky Chicken will be praying for a safety car. Tom Robbo making the move for P4. Tico makes the move for P2 again. The Dutch boys swapping positions as they try and hunt down the race leader. Gap has come down to 1.1 seconds. As they come around to complete lap 3, Tico a little bit wide there over the curbs. Gap just edging up again. Tom Robbo has got himself within DRS range of the podium battle. So this 2-way battle could very quickly become a 4-way one if the Mercedes can drag himself in there, and he might well bring the McLaren with him.
Looks like Tibos has some wing damage.
He's into the pits. Yeah, into the pits he comes. So that's a shame for him. That might explain why he was struggling so much. Callboy having a really good start as well. He's to P6. Fending off Wesker as they come into... What is this corner called? It's going to bug me. God, what is it? It's a Donington corner. It's going to bug me. Somebody in the chat tell me what it is. It'll come back to me, I'm sure.
I'm not too good with the names, but I think it's Luffield.
No, Luffield's the one after it. It's the one before that. Brooklands, that's it. It's Brooklands.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Knew it'd come back to me eventually. So watching this battle over P6 at the minute. Callboy at the head of it. Wesker, Oxox in close attention. We're going to have DRS. Here comes Wesker to the inside. Oxox is going to follow him through. So Callboy's going to lose 2 places here. Oh, Oxox with a late move on Wesker as well. Wesker saw him, covered it off. He takes P6. Oxox now 7th. Further back, Funky Fox and Graham go wheel to wheel into Vale. Oh, on board with the Mercedes. There is the Alfa Romeo hanging on around the outside of Club. He's got NLR Dillon behind him. Penalty for Adamako. Currently sets P5. He has not wanted that. In a very tough battle. Oh, Funky Fox to the inside of Graham. Graham Graham though hanging on around the outside, although the inside for the next corner, but he's run a little bit wide. Funky Fox trying to get up the inside, bit of a twitch. He gets the power down, and Graham hangs on for now, but DRS is active. Further ahead, Ox down the inside of Wesker. Into Brooklands, and that is move done. Wesker though fighting back around the outside. And fall from grace for Sway. Sway, who started P4, has just fallen behind his teammate, who started 14th. Sway down to 15th, as Sway picked up some damage, I wonder, on that opening lap, because he is just plummeted like a stone.
Doesn't seem to be anything visual, but he does look like he's struggling a lot.
P15 at the moment, struggling.
Far wide and drops.
Indeed, and now Tico has got himself within DRS range of the race leader. And Tom Robbo has got himself onto the podium. He's got ahead of Dutch Tricks then, so Dutch and Tico, who were working together to try and close down on CR7. Tico making a break now. As he hunts down the race leader. And now your top 5 are all within DRS range. Yeah, looking very good at the minute. Funky Fox and Graham still ongoing battle. They're side by side again out of the final corner. And now Dylan's trying to get involved as well. They're going to go side by side through Abbey, are they? No, Dylan backs out wisely. Dan and Zumpy keeping a watching brief behind. But Funky Fox has got Alfa Romeos in his visor and in his wing mirrors. They battle over 9th, 10th and 11th. Swain to the pits then, so that suggests maybe he did have some damage.
Yeah, they did change his wing.
Damage for him on the opening lap. Funky Fox around the outside of Graham again. Into Brooklands. Hangs it all the way around the outside. Graham's now going to come around the outside of Luffield. I think he's got the move done this time. He has. Mercedes drops in front. And into P9 for him. Great move there. However, this battle is definitely not done. Those two Alfa Romeos very much with him. And we've got the Williams and the Ferrari there as well. Straight we go. Tico now within half a second of the race leader. So that gap was 1.4 seconds a few laps ago. It's now just 0.4 of a second. Tico on the hunt. Graham gets back ahead of Funky Fox into Vale. Funky Fox though coming back at him further back. They are not side by side this time into the final couple of corners. Funky Fox has got the move done. Into the pits is Cowboy. Now that feels like an early pit stop. Does he have some damage?
Maybe going to be a wing change here.
And he comes.
Nope.
Onto the medium tyres. No, that seems like a straightforward pit stop then. So he didn't fancy those soft tyres.
Yeah, that was very early if he wants to stick to the one stop.
Indeed, especially on the mediums as well. But we shall see. These are the best in the business we've got. They are about with their superior knowledge. Top 4 now starting to break away a little bit. Well, top 3 making a little bit of a break. Now Adamako is trying to cling on to DRS. He's just outside the window at the moment. And that might see him just start to edge away. And one thing you do not want is to be dropping back, because the man behind you is the man who has flown up the order. Oxox P6. Already he is absolutely flown forwards. I've got a 3-second gap to try and close down though. Dutch Tricks is now out of DRS range as well.
Hugo's taking the lead.
Oh, indeed he has. Change for the lead then. For the first time this season, Tico hits the front. CR7 is now to defend from IFR Tom Robbo. So, season 16 champ hits the front. Further back and wide, picked a penalty. Dylan going past Funky Fox, so the battle between... Oh, big twitch from Funky Fox, wide out the final corner. Dan's up the inside. And through he goes. So Dylan got ahead of Funky Fox. Graham slipped back a couple of places because Dan's got through.
Oh, and was off.
Oh no. First corner, is it? Yep. There's the first victim. Abbey. That's where I went off several times last night, so good company, and that is unfortunately the end of Anwar's race. So Tico leads into Cops on lap 8. CR7 down to P2. Tom Robbo is third. Dutch Trick is back with them in fourth now. They have started to drop Adamako. He is 1.6 seconds back. And just dropping away a little bit as well. And he's got a better run through Max and Beckett's. Starting to try and close that gap down. But now DRS is going to take effect. And pull those drivers away again. Ox P6 has started to chip away at the gap to Adamako. And he's bringing Wesker with him. Further back in this battle, over P8 now. Funky Fox is back at the head of it. He's got Dan tucked in behind him. Zumpi's now got ahead of both the Alfa Romeos, who have both slipped backwards. Graham then going past his teammate. Up into P11. There's some great battles going on.
It's very close with the top three.
Indeed. Dutch just keeping a watching brief. Tom Robbo starting to make eyes at the back of that McLaren. That McLaren, however, is also making eyes at the back of the Ferrari. Down the inside into Brook. There's a late swing out. Tico just about saw him coming. And he's trying to hang on around the outside. Tom Robbo trying to get up the inside now. CR7 should have just enough momentum off the corner to slot back in ahead. He goes to the outside now, though. CR7 is going to give him the squeeze. Are we going to go side by side through Cops again? No. Tom Robbo drops it behind. He's going to try and switch back. Is there room? Not quite. CR7 holds on. Great dicing from these three. And the Red Bull of Dutch Tricks is right back in this now. On to the hangar straight we go. CR7. Wing pops open. Tico defends the inside. Tom Robbo in the slipstream of the McLaren. He goes to the outside. They go three wide. Oh, Tom Robbo backs out of it. Saw there wasn't room. Oh, there's contact between the McLaren and the Mercedes. They're in the pits together. They're side by side into the pit lane. CR7's picked up a 5-second penalty for speeding. The Mercedes gets in front. The battle on the track carries on into the pit lane.
Tom also got the penalty there.
Did he? Oh no. So that's how desperate they were to get into the pits at speed. Medium tyres for those three. Dutch Tricks pitted as well. And they are coming out in the same order, nose to tail. But that penalty is going to absolutely kill them. Tico was watching that all unfold in his mirrors. He's carried on for another lap, so he's going to try the overcut. Those two trying to undercut it, or those three now trying to undercut him. Out onto track again now. Got clear track as well, so I would expect a response from the Ferrari man this time. Adamako now sits P2. Ox now just 1.5 seconds behind him, though. He is still coming.
Maybe a big collision there between Dan Morris and Sumpy.
Dan holding off Zumpy. Graham there as well. We've lost Dylan from this battle. He's slipped back now behind Scuba, who's up into P9. As I say that, he lags out. So Scuba's internet is having an absolute shocker tonight.
I think Dylan might have lagged out as well.
Yeah, my time will drop back.
He is good.
You might be right, yeah. You might be right. So into the pits come your top four. Tico, Adamako, Ox and Wesker are in. Funky Fox is in as well. Zombie carries on. Yeah, of course his teammate is in the pit, so although he's on the medium tyre, so of course he's on the alternate strategy. And he's currently wheel to wheel with Dan Morris. They touch as they come out the final corner, side by side for the lead now. And Zumpy gets ahead into Abbey. Graham closing in on this. So this now is the battle for the lead now. Where does Tico come out relative? Tom Robbo, the answer is behind. He gets jumped by all three of them. Yep. So CR7, Dutch and Tom Robbo all get ahead of Tico. However, he's dropped right into the back of that group. So those top four are all together again. And Adamako has put the soft tyre on again. Interestingly. Now, I've just noticed it's getting quite dark.
It is, yeah.
It is clouding over. Are we going to see rain? That would explain why Adamako's gone back onto the soft tyres. Because of course he started on the soft tyres. You have to use two compounds. He's currently only on one.
Yeah, because his softs he was on before probably not gone the distance.
Nope, not at all. Here comes Dan. Oh, for the lead. Squeezes up in the braking zone. Make sure he gets through. To the outside, there comes Zumpy. He's going to go around the outside of him into Vale. They're giving the inside for Club. They're going to go wheel to wheel again. Ooh, is there room? Just about. Dan gets the move done again. Great battling between these two.
If I was Graham right now, I would just be hoping for them to put each other off.
Yeah, well, there is every chance of that happening. They've been banging wheels for a number of laps. Of course, these two were chasing that pack before when it was Funky Fox, Dylan and Graham. They now find themselves ahead of it with Graham giving chase. Here comes Zumpy with the DRS. Blast pass into the lead of the race again. They're going to Brooklands. Actually, those soft tyres are not going to be feeling great on Dan or Graham's car. Although Graham is very good on his tyres. We've seen that in the past. I think he's just happy to be pulled around by these two at the moment. Some people on the more durable mediums, so he'll be going deeper, hoping the rain falls. In time for him to make his one and only stop. There's a better run through Maggotts and Beckett's pulling away, using his battery. Down closing with the DRS, but he's not going to be close enough this time. Meanwhile, let's go pick up the battle that was for the lead of the race previously. Tom Robbo now at the head of this train. Of course, he picked up a penalty going to the pits, as did CR7. So they're both on 5-second penalties. Dan and Graham pit. So second and third are in. Tom Robbo leading this quartet around. CR7 behind him. Then Dutch. Then Tico. Of course, Tico on one lap fresher tyres. Needing Fever, thank you for joining the chats. Pagani giving Sheeran to Oxox. He now finds himself in P8 on the medium tyres, trying to chase down Adamako. He was on the softs. Scuba then with the fastest lap of the race. So Scuba finding some pace in between his lag outs. Up to half race distance, no safety cars so far, just the one retirement. So far, a very positive start to the season, despite the Cody Server moments. We've got Oscar supporting the Mercs, Tom Robbo and Funky Fox. Of course, he kicks off his campaign in Div 2 tomorrow. So Zumpy now leads by 5.9 seconds over Dylan. This battle now, formerly for the race lead, now over P3. Tom Robbo, CR7, Dutch, so closing in. Thinks about a move into Stowe. Not close enough though. These four seem quite content to just follow each other around at the moment. Now got 3 seconds over Adamako. He's back on them now. I think he's probably just stringing out a little bit through those first couple of corners, but he's right back on the tail of his fellow countryman in the Red Bull now. Other battles have got going on. Dan Morris and Graham have resumed battle. They're now on the back of TTG Tibos. He had to pit early after possibly picking up some damage. As you were, so back then with this quartet battling over P3. Dylan back in his car now, seems to be. So the Alfa Romeo man, of course, podium finisher at China in the final round of last season. Inspired tyre choice. He currently sits in P2 as well. Zumpy continues to lead though. Ferrari man 5.5 seconds to the good on the medium tyres on which he started. looking quite comfortable at the moment. Of course, if the rain comes, is it going to come? He's obviously going to want to he's going to want to try and take those tyres to the point where the rain comes and he can make the swap, so he doesn't have to do more than one pit stop. But it depends on when the rain is going to fall. Well, this quartet still as you were. Tom Robert doing everything he needs to stay out of range in the DRS zone. CR7 closing in. Dutch thought about a move as well. Tico happy to just sit on the back of this pack lane. So the good thing, well, the thing about for Dutch and for Tico here is that they don't need to overtake these two drivers with those penalties. So they can just sit behind, sort out the finer details of this battle later on. Now, one thing that has been a common theme with Dutch is he's very good at avoiding penalties. Now, last season was quite scruffy by his standards, and there were a few races where he did get some. On the whole, he's very good. Meanwhile, here comes CR7. Move into Stowe corner, retakes P3. Takes over at the head of this train again. Dutch and Tico, they're usually quite good at avoiding penalties. Well, Dutch is very good at avoiding penalties. Tico has in the past fallen foul of penalties. So far, neither of the Dutch drivers have a penalty as Tom Robbo gets another penalty. That's that one for track limits. So he now has 8 seconds.
That's certainly not going to help him.
Indeed. I can't imagine this pack's going to split up at the minute, and you've got Adamako, who's now 3.2 seconds behind. He has a penalty to his name. 3 seconds, I believe. Let's have a look. Penalties. So, 5 seconds for CR7, 8 for Tom Robbo, 3 for Adamako, 3 for Callboy, and 3 for Sway. The gap between Adamako and Oxox is holding at about 2 seconds. Okay, using those soft tyres to keep the flying Aston Martin man at bay. Of course, we're still waiting for your top two to pit. Zumpy holding that gap though. It's 5.3 seconds now, so a couple of tenths to Dylan, but Zumpy doing a sterling job out front. Dylan's lead over that quartet coming up behind him as Tom Robert goes to the outside for CR7. Not quite close enough to make a move. That is now just 2.7 seconds. I think it was just the camera angle there. It looked like he might be looking for a move on Dutch, but slots back in behind. These four are not battling too hard. They are chipping away at that gap up to P2. 2.6 seconds now. Because they're much fresher tyres, so expect them to keep closing that gap. Going on further back, Adamako in a bit of no man's land at the moment. Oxox has seen off the advances of Wesker, who is now dropped 3.6 seconds behind. Funky Fox in P10 has got Callboy behind him. Circulating within about 6 tenths of each other. Callboy, of course, had that really good start early on. Slipped down a little bit. That early pit stop. Dan Morris and Graham still going at it. They're both quite ahead of TTG Tibos now. He's still with them. So Dan and Graham still battling.
Dan and Graham have gone from softs to another set of softs.
Yeah, so that again suggests that the rain, that suggests the rain is definitely coming. And if it doesn't, then they're in trouble.
Could just be Jeff toying with them.
It could just be Jeff toying. And Tom Robbo back up to P3. Gets the move done on CR7 into Stowe and holds him off into Vale.
Here comes Graham on Dan Morris. Nicely done up the inside, Stowe.
Nice move. TG Tibos watching behind them. P12, and the battle likely to continue, as is his battle over P3. They're snaking down the Wellington Straight. Tomorrow looking to break the toe. Jinx to the left, Jinx to the right. Nobody close enough for a move this time. Dutch Tico just sat behind them again. The gap now to Dylan is now 1.5 seconds, so they've had half a second out of him on that lap. It's only a matter of time before they get to him. The question is what comes first, the overtake or the rain? Zumpy still leads, 5 seconds for the good, so he's lost half a second to Dylan over the last couple of laps, but continues to lead. A comfortable margin. He's going to be praying that the rain, if it's going to come, it's going to come soon. Down the hanger straight we go on lap 18.26. How much longer can the front two hang on tyre-wise? Doesn't look to be getting any darker, but no sign of any rain on any cameras yet. The pack behind are now within DRS range of Dylan, so you think now it's just a matter of time before they swallow him up. But if you can hang with these guys, if they do need another pit stop.
Something in Dylan staying out for this long was probably also an indication of possible rain.
Yeah, I think they would have pitted by now if it was going to be dry to the end, so when's it coming? Well, Dylan has taken half a second out of Zumpy, so I think Zumpy's tyres maybe past their best now. What does he do? What does he do? We go. Battle for now second position. Dylan hones into shot. Very, very worn medium tyres on that Alfa Romeo. Mercedes behind him, much fresher rubber. DRS as well now. Dylan not going to defend. Yeah. Oh, is it raining?
There are drops on the onboards. Still very mild.
Yeah, I can see a couple of drops of rain. Here it comes. This is what Dylan and Zumpy have been praying for. How hard is it going to fall though? On lap 20 of 26. There's not long to go. Those tyres are going to be absolutely dead. Now the Dutch boys are stuck behind Dylan still as they come through the farmer village complex. You can see the rain starting to fall now. Funky Chicken with a penalty. Dutch and Tico won't be too worried because, of course, CR7 and Tom Robbo, if they do need to pit, if they do have to pit, they will serve their 5-second penalties. But to be conscious though, they're going to be losing touch here. Stuck behind Dylan still, come through Woodcote. Tico up the inside. Tico around the outside of Dutch tricks there. It's a nice move from Tico. He's got the hurry up. Zumpy's lead down to 3.6 seconds now, so these guys are taking chunks of time out of him now. Got a long, long way on those set of tyres. You see the rain falling now, it's getting heavier, it's constant now. When is he going to get too much though? Can he hold on until the rain is falling? Now 2.9 seconds. Dylan still ahead of the Dutch boys. Into the pits comes Adamako, so Adamako's had to go for the pits. Now does he? What does he go for? He has to go for either a medium or an inter, surely. It's not wet enough for intermediates yet, surely. Oh, he's gone for the inter, so he's gone early. Oh, as Tico appears, Dylan's front shot. Oh, tries to get the inside. Oh, big twitch from Dylan. Those tyres, I think, have had enough. Dutch is going to cruise past as well. And through they go. They have, unfortunately, lost DRS to CR7 and Tom Robbo, though. So can they quickly close back in? Of course, they've still got plenty in hand with CR7 with a 5-second penalty. And Tom Robbo with 8. Company's lead now just 2 seconds. But when is this rain going to be too much? Is it going to be too much? Or CR7 with another penalty. Tico with a penalty as well. So suddenly Dutch Tricks is in the strongest position. As Tico gets a penalty through Maggers and Beckett's. So he's just pushed a little too hard. Zumpy goes round again. How is Adamako getting on his intermediates? Doesn't look wet enough for those yet. I don't imagine they're going to feel very nice. Zumpy continues on his way. He's going to have to stop. He's going to have to stop eventually, even if it's for more slicks. On lap 22 of 26, those tyres are still alive. It's absolutely outstanding. Callboy pits now. In comes Graham.
Lost about 4 seconds in one lap in the Inters so far. So it's not looking good.
Cars are something like twitching. Zumpy's looking very twitchy. Dylan now gets a penalty as well. Whoa. Oh,
T-Boz has crashed.
Oh, right. I think it's time. Is it time? Safety car. Safety car deployed. Callboy Graham Sway are in for intermediates as well. So this works out wonderfully. For those at the back, Scuba's going to get a free pit. Oh, Scuba's gone round, so Scuba hasn't pitted. But suddenly driver's looking particularly twitchy. Now Zumpy, has to pit here. So at worst, Zumpy and Dylan are going to pit here. It's a long pit lane here, isn't it? So Ox might jump them. But there's a gap between Ox and Wesker of 6 seconds. They might just be able to drop into that gap with everybody at reduced speed. So what tyres does Zumpy and Dylan go for here? Does anybody else follow them is the question. Zumpy's going to have to pit. He does. In come Tom Robbo, CR7 are in. Tico's in. Tico might have to double stack here. His teammate ahead of him. Yeah, the top 6 are all in. So this is going to work out very nicely for Zumpy. And what does Ox do here? He's in as well. So yeah, everybody's coming in. It is too wet now. So now it's a race on pit lane. Now CR7 and Tom Robbo will serve their 5-second penalties. Oh, Zumpy's being held for Dylan.
Being held.
He's on his way now, though. Dylan's got out P3. That's worked out beautifully for Dylan. And Tico's double stack means he's in P6. Now, where is Adamako? He's still coming around Stowe, so he's not going to benefit from this. But we are going to have possibly a 2 or 3 lap sprint here. Safety car pick up. Zumpy has played this absolutely beautifully. He is clung on, and the Raiders come at just the right time to save him, because I think his tyres were probably about done.
I think he was probably on the verge of puncture there.
Yeah, I think he can't have been far away. He cannot have been far away. Silverstone has a lot of high speed, high load corner. Of course, Maggis and Beckett's is really going to hurt those tyres. And then you look at Club, Abbey, Brooklands, Cops are all high speed corners, high load. That's really going to work that front left tyre. So, worked out beautifully. And so, running order is as follows. Zumpy leads from Dutch Tricks. Neither of those two have penalties to their name. Dylan is third. Great job from him. Benefits from the 2 guys behind him having those 5-second penalties, in Tico, who had to double stack. He is in P3, but he has a 3-second penalty. Tom Robbo, CR7 and Tico, all behind them, all with 3-second penalties to their name. Ox in P7. He's closed up now. He doesn't have a penalty, so he's now in a good position. Wesker P8, no penalty to his name. Adam is P9. So that strategy just hasn't quite worked out for him, unfortunately. He's lost out in that one a little bit. P9 for him. Funky Fox in P10. Poorboy 11th. Dan is 12th. Graham 13th. Those two still locked together. Sway's 14th. Tom is 15th. Funky Chicken 16th. Finally getting that safety car he's been waiting all race for. And Scuba will join at the back of the pack. So then safety car will do at least one more lap. So we wait for the rest of the field to close up, which means that we are going to have possibly a 2-lap sprint to the flag. Would you like to amend your race prediction now? Because I don't think either of us predicted Zumpy to be in the mix. Or Dylan. What do we think then?
I think Dutch still has pretty good chance. He just needs to get a good restart from the safety car. Make sure he doesn't get tricked by Sumpy.
True, very true. See, Zombie is quite good in the wet conditions. He deprived me of the best opportunity I ever had to win an FTRL race. It's a very wet Red Bull ring in season 13. So he is very good in the wet. So do not discount the man on your screen. Red 88 leading the race. No penalties to his name. Dutch Tricks second in the Red Bull. No penalties to their name. They have got at least 3 seconds over the 4 cars directly behind them. So Dylan, Tom, CR7 and Tico all have 3-second penalties, so technically Dutch and Zumpy could let them get ahead and just stick with them, but they're not going to want to do that. They're going to want to win this one on track, because then you avoid any doubt about the win. Now Ox, of course, who was so racy at the beginning of this race, is now right back into contention as well. And of course, with the 4 cars ahead of him with penalties, he's currently net P3. Now, 4 cars to get through and then go after the 2 leaders is possibly a lot even for Ox. But stranger things have happened. Field all together again. Scuba joins the back of the train. Now, are we going to see... Well, we should see the safety car in this lap. Otherwise, it's going to be a 1-lap sprint. Safety car in this lap. There we go. It's 2 laps. So, are we ready? 2-lap sprint coming up to win the opening round of Season 18. Oh, no. CR7's hit Tom Robbo under the safety car. That penalty could be removed. That's fine. Sort that out later. Oh, he's hit Wesker now as well. Brilliant. It's going a little bit wrong. Oh, what's happening? What's happened? Why is CR7 going down the order? Oh, CR7's out. What's happened? Has he retired or has he crashed? I don't know what's happened there. Anyway, we're off and running. Somebody's pulled the pin. Dutch has gone with him. 2 laps. Intermediate wet conditions. Away we go. There will be no DRS for the rest of the race, even if it was still dry enough, because there's none for 2 laps after a safety car. Hadamaka with another penalty. That's going to hurt him at the finishing.
Dutch goes for
it. Dutch at the inside. He's gone for it early. Trying to get the power down. They're side by side, coming onto the Wellington straight. Zumpy goes back around the outside. Brilliant move. Is he going to cover the inside? Dutch is right up behind him. Back to the inside for Brooklands. Zumpy though around the outside again. They're going to touch. Oh, they bumped wheels. Survived though. Dutch now trying to run around the outside. He's going to get on the curb. That's not going to help his traction, but he's still outside Zumpy. Zumpy there with the lead, goes for the short route around Woodcut, takes the lead back, comes back across, takes the line away from Dutch Tricks. Dylan, Tom Robbo still second and third. Ox trying to work over Tico. Bit of a gap into Wesker, who's been caught napping a little bit by the top 6. Oh, Dylan has a twitch coming onto the back straight, and now Tom Robbo's alongside him. He's going to get the move done. Zumpy's going to hold off Dutch into Stowe, as he is. Dylan's trying to hang on the inside of Tom Robbo. Oh, slide from Dylan again. Tom Robbo, I think, has got the move done. He has. Dylan crosses over Tico, now coming around the outside. Goes for the move, gets it done. Oh, there's contact. Why goes Tico? Why goes Dylan? Ox is through. Oh, so unlucky for Dylan and Tico. But Ox, ever the opportunist, through we go. Oh no, Zumpy gets a penalty on the final lap.
Oh no.
Oh, and Dutch Tricks is suddenly odds on to win this one. He just needs to follow him now. He doesn't need to attack him. Oh, what a shame. Robbed us of what was going to be a grandstand finish. What's the interval into the leader? Let's have a look at the gaps. So, 3 seconds. Oh, Zumpy could potentially drop down to... He's going to be third at the moment, because Ox is only 1.9 seconds behind him. We'll keep an eye on these gaps now. Oh, but Zumpy, who drove so well, and to get a penalty on the final lap. Into Magnus and Beckett's for the final time. Gap's now just starting to spread out a little bit. Nobody's really that close to anybody anymore. It's down the hanger straight for the final time. Zumpy leading the way, but that penalty on the final lap is going to deprive him of what would have been an absolutely outstanding victory. 2 corners to go. Into Vale. Into Club. And the barren streak is over for Dutch Tricks. Zumpy wins on the road. Dutch Tricks takes some penalties. Great drive. Oxox will get P2. Zumpy comes home P3. Wesker gets P4. Funky Fox P5. Tico down to P6. With the penalty at the end as well. But Dutch Tricks, ladies and gentlemen, is back. Oxox, I think, rightly gets driver of the day. It was an outstanding drive from him. Is that P16 to P2, is it? Something like that. It's absolutely outstanding effort from him. But Dutch Tricks ends his streak of without a victory in brilliant fashion. He did everything he needed to do, taking the win. The 2 Finnish boys joining him on the podium, Oxox and Zumpy. Oh, so gutted for Zumpy. He drove absolutely brilliantly. And it must have been Abbey. He got the penalty, maybe just cut the curb on the inside too much. Or maybe even run wide on the exit, didn't see where he got it, but that penalty on the final lap, heartbreak for him. Dutch Tricks then is the winner of the round 1 of season 18. Oxox P17 to P2. What a drive from him. And Zumpy there, P15 to P3. He again could be very proud of his day's work. Wesker comes home P4, so Red Bull will lead the constructors after week 1 with Funky Fox. Up from P16 to P5. Great drive from him as well. Tico, that penalty just dropping him down to P6. Dan P7, Graham P8, Tom Duval P9, P10 for Corboy. Tom Robbo down to P11 with those 2 penalties. Did he get another 5-second penalty somewhere? Adamako P12. Dylan down in 13th in the end there. That's so unlucky for him. It all went wrong for him on the final lap. Funky Chicky 14th, Sway and Scuba the final finisher with the fastest lap point as well. And your retirements, CR7, TTG Tibos and Andoir. Well, I do love a dry to wet race. It provides so much action and some incredible drives in there. But fair play to Dutch Tricks. He did everything he needed to do in that one, stayed in the fight, and he comes away victorious. So desperately unlucky for Zumpy. What a drive from him. Was just one curb strike away from a victory there. I think he will be absolutely disgusted with himself for that, but I think he should be very proud of his efforts. And Oxox, what that opening lap really made that for him. Brilliant opening stint from him. Comes away with P2. Any final thoughts on that one, Kat?
Oh, it was a great race. Well deserved win for Dutch, but of course as well gutted for Zumpy there. I've tried losing a win very close to the end of the race too, so I know how it feels.
Yeah, well, I think he can take a lot of heart from that. He drove brilliantly today, so fingers crossed we'll see him fighting out for victories again later this season. That of course is the end of the action for this evening, but we have more F1 action coming up for you tomorrow. Div 2 take to the track at Silverstone. And it's my co-commentator for this evening, on track for the first time this season. What do we expect for tomorrow? What are your hopes for tomorrow?
I expect a lot of penalties.
A lot of penalties. And personal aims? Top 5, top 3?
Well, I of course hope to be part of that, but not quite sure.
We shall see. Well,
I think maybe we'll probably see F-Chip somewhere up there.
Pretty strong boy around here. But Oscar's got a very nice time trial as well. But time trial is one thing, race pace is something completely different. And of course, might the weather play a part tomorrow as well? Well, we shall see. So thank you very much for joining me tonight. Appreciate having somebody else in the comms box. And if anybody out there who is not racing tomorrow would like to join me for tomorrow, more than welcome to do so. I'm always happy to have a second in here to catch all the action in FTRL, because there's so much of it going on and I've only got one pair of eyes and one TV screen, so I can't see it all. So it's good to have an extra pair of eyes on all the action. And once again, thanks to the Div 1 guys for providing us with a emphatically exciting race to kick off season 18. Yeah, that's the end of it for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the race. Please do like the stream before you go if you haven't already done so. And please do join me tomorrow at 8 o'clock where we do this all over again for Div 2 season 18, kicking off 8 o'clock Wednesday evening. And back on Thursday, of course, with GT Sport as well. So we get into the final epilogues of season GT15 now. Season 15 of GT Sport. This week we are at Interlagos, so a circuit familiar to F1 fans. 8 o'clock, please do join. I believe it's Junkie Sport on comms this week, going through all the action. But from myself, from Cats for this evening, thank you for joining us, and we will hopefully see you again really soon.